Let's use our imaginations for a minute. Imagine if you're having a party, a house party, and you're inviting your close friends. The day comes, they start showing up, but things are not right. Some of them are not following rules. We know every household has some rules, whether it's to take off your shoes or do something in particular. Let's say your guests start showing up, but one of them is not wearing clothes. Whoa, it's not that kind of party, so perhaps go put some clothes and come back. Or let's say somebody's wearing muddy shoes. Are you just going to let them walk in and start walking around your carpet with muddy shoes? Probably not. This is posture. You're familiar with the endpoints that are connecting into your environment, into your organization, but you want to make sure the rules of your organization are being followed. Is there a firewall that needs to be enabled on the device? Is there malware software? Is there something in particular that this device needs before connecting to your network? That is what we're going to talk about today, and we'll spend a few minutes talking about posture. You might be asking yourself, but David, why all this stuff just to connect devices into the network? It's important, especially if you want to keep your organization safe. It's important to see if these endpoints are healthy when they connect. Are they following the security policies that your organization has? Cisco ISE can play a part in that process. It is the center of the security ecosystem, connecting Cisco and non-Cisco devices together and making sure that your endpoints are following the policies that your organization has. Yes, it's an extra layer on top of connectivity, but security is important. Even though it adds a little bit of complexity, it's to protect your organization. So yes, all of these things that we're doing, profiling, posturing, this is important. You shouldn't just let random devices come into your network and connect in. And some organizations are doing that. Let's do the best we can to secure the organization. Now, let's take a look here under context visibility. We want to take a look at our endpoints. So we'll go to context visibility. We'll take a look at endpoints. I have a Windows device that I was able to follow this process for posturing with. We will go up to compliance. Let's look at our, following the rules, our endpoints following the rules. And we'll see here this device. This is my Windows device with all of its MAC addresses. And we'll see that it is currently compliant. We also have a MacBook that is unknown, right? So that MacBook is not hitting the policy that is looking to do posturing. So that MacBook can authenticate, and that's pretty much it. 8021X, PEEP. But for my Windows devices, I'm looking for a little bit of extras, right? I'm looking to make sure that they are following the rules before connecting. So currently, the compliance status for this Windows 11 box is compliant. But just like we spoke about last time with profiling, there are components to put together these rule sets and to add them into your policy sets. There are some parts that come together, and depending on what you're looking for in your organization, depending on the security policies that you want to make sure your endpoints are following, there are a couple of little things you need to do and put together and spend some time testing just to make sure everything is working. Let's go over to policy, and we will look at posture. Here we will see the posture policies that devices are following. And specifically in this environment, it's Windows devices. Now, if you see here, the status is unchecked. That means these policies I'm not looking at. But towards the bottom here, we see two policy options that are being followed. So I'm checking to see if there's a particular file on the device. If that file is there, perfect. If that file's not there, well, you shouldn't come in. It's like asking your guests to bring in a dessert and they don't bring the dessert in. Send them back out. Send them back to the grocery store. And of course, the other policy we have in here is just making sure that we have some malware, anti-malware software that's installed and it's updated. So there are a lot of options that you could put together and combine to make sure that your devices are following the rules. You'll see here, if we scroll up, that there's different posture types. So the posture type that I'm using in the lab is agent. I'm using secure client to make sure that my devices are healthy and following the rules. But there are other ways that you can do posture. So if you don't want to install an agent on your devices, let's say they're contractors, you can use a temporal agent. So a temporary agent that comes in, makes sure things are good, and then leaves. That's it. You also have the ability to redirect folks to a website, make sure that things are working there on that website before you let them in. There are a couple of different options. Also, if you want to do agentless, you can do that as well. But take some time, do some research on each of these different posture types because some of them will allow remediation and some do not, right? So let's say you want to force that firewall to come up on the endpoint. You might not be able to do that if it's agentless. So there are different options because you can try and correct the deficiencies that your endpoints have as they authenticate, but it all depends on the posture type. Again, in my lab, I'm using Secure Client as the agent. So that's the posture type that I'm using. And if you notice there in the rules, that is what I'm looking for if you have the agent. So that is the policy. But as you can see, there are some components, right? There are some conditions that you need to have. Let's go over to policy. And first, let's take a look at results. We'll go to posture and requirements. And we'll see here that we have the Windows malware requirement. We have the Windows file check. And if we scroll to the right, we'll see that you'll get a message. Those are the remediation actions that I have. If this is not up to date, you will simply get a message. There's a lot more that you can do there, but these are the requirements. I'm not trying to do this on a MacBook. I'm looking really just for my Windows devices. And we'll take a look at what that looks like on the policy side. But as you can see here, I'm making sure that the malware, the anti-malware software is up to date, it's installed. And then here, I'm looking for just a file that exists on the device. Let's see what that looks like. So if we go to policy and we go to conditions, let's click on posture. Let's click on file. And the file option that I created there, it's user defined. I created this. We'll click on this and we'll see that I'm pretty much looking to make sure this text file exists on the device there in this posture folder. So it has to match this. If it's not there, if it's been moved, if it's been renamed, it'll flag the device as non-compliant and it won't let you into where I need you to go. So there are a lot of combinations of what you can do here to make sure your devices are following the security policies, the policies that your organization has. Once you put these things together, let's go to policy. We'll go back to results. This time we'll go to client provisioning. Because keep in mind, in my case, I'm using an agent. So in some instances, I want to make sure that these devices have the right agent. I'm pushing software down if needed. They can go to a portal and grab software if needed. Or there are other ways that you can push software down to devices. The agent config here, let's check this, let's click edit, and we'll see that if a device needs this agent, this is what I'm installing for Secure Client. These are the different modules within Secure Client that I want the device to have, and then I have a posture profile that I created out there as well. So the device, when it connects, if it doesn't have anything, this is what I expect it to pull down, and you can upload that software here to ISE. Let's go back to agent configuration, and we'll also see that you can customize the settings. Where does an endpoint connect to? Which PSN does it connect to? How does it know to grab software? How does it know what policies to use? Let's click edit here for this agent profile. And we'll see that all those settings are here. This is what I expect devices to have. This is what it gets pushed down to them. This is the profile that exists on the device. So the server, what is it going to connect to? Which PSNs is it going to connect to? All that information is put together here. This is put on the endpoint. It's pushed down to the endpoint. These are the policies that they're following, the profile that they're following. Now, once you put all this together, the requirements for your organization, whether it's files that need to exist, antivirus, anti-malware, there are so many options to choose from. Then we go over to policy and we'll go to policy sets. Then you might be familiar already with this policy that we've been using for a couple of weeks. We'll open this and we'll go to authorization policy. Now, we'll see that I have two rules in here. A compliant rule. So if you are compliant, if you're following the rules, we will put you in VLAN 3. Now, if you're non-compliant, so the first time you enter the network, we expect you to authenticate. This is only for Windows devices. That's the expectation. If you're not a Windows device, you're going to go over to the allow family rule. However, if you hit this policy and your status, your session, your posture status is unknown, then you're going to be placed on VLAN 99, which in my lab is the quarantine VLAN. You have limited access there. And let's say you need to fix yourself and you need to follow the rules properly. You're not going to move until you're compliant. Once you're compliant, then you will be put on VLAN 3 and you're allowed access to the rest of the network. So those are some of the things that you can do. So let's take a look at this posture process for a Windows machine. Let's use Secure Client to connect to my network, this lab auth SSID. Once I connect to the lab auth SSID, I will be placed into the quarantine VLAN. And as you can see there, it's 172.30.99. That's the subnet. ISE posture kicks off and I have an untrusted cert for ISE. Immediately, I am missing the file. It's actually there. I've just renamed it. So it saw that it's not the same file. It's expecting safe.txt instead of safe-old. Let's rename that just to safe.txt. And then we'll go back and we'll kick things off again just to make sure I'm compliant. As you can see there, immediately it's going through and I'm going to be moved over to a different VLAN. There's a change of authorization that happens. Now I'm 172.30.2, that's VLAN 3, and things are looking good again. I am connected to the network, to the right network, to the production network. As I mentioned in the beginning, your household has rules. So why not your organization? It's important to protect your organization, and posture is a way to do it. I'll see you on the next one.